The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 5 minutes. Follow the show on Spreaker.com or the Spreaker app and be a part of the show via the live interactive chat room. You can text your thoughts to 404-902-8104. Check out the Facebook live stream at facebook.com/OneMicWithBigMike. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 4 minutes. Follow the show on Spreaker.com or the Spreaker app and be a part of the show via the live interactive chat room. You can text your thoughts to 404-902-8104. Check out the Facebook live stream at facebook.com/OneMicWithBigMike. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 3 minutes. Follow the show on Spreaker.com or the Spreaker app and be a part of the show via the live interactive chat room. You can text your thoughts to 404-902-8104. Check out the Facebook live stream at facebook.com/OneMicWithBigMike. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 2 minutes. Follow the show on Spreaker.com or the Spreaker app and be a part of the show via the live interactive chat room. You can text your thoughts to 404-902-8104. Check out the Facebook live stream at facebook.com/OneMicWithBigMike. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 1 minute. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 30 seconds. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 5, 4, 3, 2.
One mic.
I'm back.
It's the One Mic with Big Mike show. Live,
Ain't no goddamn tape.
interactive, and on demand. One Mic. Yeah, a sports show.
The best move of LeBron's career, man, was dragging his sweaty ball sack right across Draymond Green's the nape of his neck and getting that dude suspended.
And so much more.
What's going on right now with Donald Trump? This is America, and it tickles me to death when white people are so shocked and appalled by it.
What? It's the One Mic with Big Mike show.
Of course, it's like anything, like ammonia or you sniffing glue is gonna get you high.
You've been warned. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts now. Here he is.
He's real cocky, he's real loudmouth, he's real flamboyant. He don't cow down to people.
Big Mike.
Yep, made it to another Friday, man, here on the One Mic with Big Mike show. Welcome in. Welcome. I am, of course, your host, Big Mike, being heard right now live on Spreaker.com, spelled Spreaker.com. Spreaker also has an app available for all your mobile devices, so make sure you head on over to your app store and download that situation as well. You can hear the show on TuneIn, and I think you can probably, for the last day for a while, hear the show live on my website, onemicwithbigmike.com. I'm also streaming live video on Facebook via Facebook Live. The Facebook page is at the number 1 MICWITHBIGMIKE at One Mic with Big Mike. Want to go ahead and check that out. As far as you participating in the show, I do suggest that you do so. I do invite you to do so. You can do so in a variety of different ways. One, by texting the show at 404-902-8104, 404-902-8104. You can also jump inside my live interactive chat room here on Spreaker. It's quite simple. If you're listening to the show via Spreaker right now, you'll see a little thought bubble icon on the streaming player. Just click on that, get you right up in here. While you're clicking stuff, click that little heart icon as well as the little share icons as well, so your friends know what you're up to, and so they can be, if they're not already, introduced to the One Mic with Big Mike show. Or lastly, you can leave your comments and questions and whatnot below the streaming video here on Facebook. Like I said, via my Facebook page. Go ahead and like the page as well while you're there, but you can leave your questions, comments, criticisms, all those good things right there below, and I'll check them periodically throughout the show and comment and question on them. Or not comment and question on them. I'll comment on them if deemed necessary. So today, Friday, last day, weekend is here. The week has been chock full of a lot of stuff, man. So what I decided to do, and I might do this, this might be a normal Friday thing now. You know, it may be a situation where I just kind of recap the week. You know what I mean? Or I just kind of, where I might just kind of, recap the week depending on what kind of news week we had. I'm laughing because something just popped up on my Facebook feed here. Because what I learned was, I've actually been blocked again from posting to Facebook groups and commenting on people's stuff within the groups that I'm in. And I didn't know why, so I did some Googling or whatever. And apparently this happens because people are either annoyed or feel abused by the things that I'm posting. I don't understand. I don't know why. What's happening, what I'm doing that's making someone feel abused. I can understand why somebody might be annoyed by me, but is that enough reason for somebody to keep me from, promoting my situation, my show and everything? So that's crazy. And the reason I laugh is one of my former coworkers posted, "Did you ask what you're doing that's annoying or offensive?" And I haven't. But you know what I'll do? I'll do it right now. I'll just type in, I'll say, no. Would you like to offer up any suggestions? All right. So today, at least starting off the show, I'm going to, just kind of recap the week and also, of course, bring everything up to date as far as if anything, any news broke today, any of the top stories and whatnot for today. We have no guest today, or I have no guest today. So at the bottom of the hour, I'll give you guys a little bit of a history lesson with my feature that I call On This Day, where I give you some little, historical factoids and tidbits pertaining to some things that happened on this particular day in sports history. So that's coming at the bottom of the hour. As far as everything else, we had some college football last night. Louisville took that L from North Carolina State. Lamar Jackson, he did Lamar Jackson things stat-wise, but still they ended up on the wrong side of victory. Or I guess they ended up on the wrong side of victory, the right side of defeat, I guess. Thursday night football last night, Patriots and the Buccaneers, and the big story coming out of that today was that, guess what? Kickers are ridiculous human beings. They're mentally fragile human beings that do not deserve to be called football players. You know what I mean? They're like, I don't know. When I hear about people getting the yips, like I'm watching baseball right now. You know, the Yankees Indians game is on right now, and I can't remember who the pitcher is or what team he pitches for, but the guy who can't throw to first base for whatever reason, he's a pitcher now. He pitches all game long, throwing home strikes and balls or whatever, but he cannot throw the baseball confidently to first base. And there's some sort of mental block, like that kind of stuff. I don't understand it. Like people get the yips in golf. And these kickers who just fall off the table, these real ass consistent kickers that they miss a big kick in the game or they end up, you know, missing a couple of kicks and they just fall apart. Mike Vanderjagt went like a million years without missing a kick. The next thing you know, he misses a kick and he's out of the league. It feels like you should be able to kick for like ever until you get ready to stop kicking. I guess everybody got their proverbial crosses to bear, I guess, right? So that happened last night. Not a whole lot to talk about. Tom Brady played decently. No Gronkowski last night. Doug Martin came back and ruined my fantasy team. Thank you, Doug Martin. Gee whiz, man. I got Jacquizz Rodgers, so that didn't turn out well for the kid. What else do we have from last night? Nothing really. So let's jump right into it. Let's jump right into this weekend review situation. The week started off on Monday. I rolled out of bed and found out that some crazy ass white dude went ballistic with with an automatic rifle, a custom automatic rifle, killing I think now 59 people. 59 people died. I'm gonna read this to you guys in a second. What just came up here, but 59 people. And injuring a couple of hundred people at this music festival. So that's how the week started. And now throughout the whole entire week, it's been about, we've got to figure out this guy's motives and this, that, and the other. And look, here's the thing. Like, once you realize that, and I think they have so far, that it was just him being a crazy MFer. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't have any, like, ISIS ties or Al Qaeda or any of those radicalized type situations that they end up looking for. That he just your run of the mill, homegrown white American terrorist. Like the whole motive thing. So you find out that he's mad at the government or something. What good is that going to do going forward? You know what I'm saying? Like I can understand the whole situation if you feel like it's some sort of group involvement, but once you realize that, keep it moving, man. Like I don't get this whole situation with people, the whole situation with people wanting to, or the media, I should say, wanting to turn these people into celebrities. Like we got to find out every aspect of their lives, and we got to give you guys these whole rundowns on who they are and where they're from. He dead, man. That's probably the best part of the story, that the dude is dead. He offed himself. You know what I'm saying? Like, keep that moving. Because all it does, man, it shows other crazy people, like, if I want to live on in infamy, I just got to do something bigger and crazier. This is why I believe these incidents continue to grow and get bigger. Like, every time one is mentioned, you know what else? You know what they say? The largest mass shooting in American history. Over and over and over again, because these cats decide to one-up the dude from last time. Nah, man, these cats need to remain nameless, B. Faceless and nameless. They're nobodies. Nothing. So if you think that this is what's going to get you, you know, popular or known or, you know, all this kind of stuff, it ain't going to work. But we don't live in that society. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like an arms race to get information, whether it's good, bad, right or wrong, to get it out there first. That's the society that we live in. So that's not going to ever go anywhere. These people are going to always end up being or feeling like they can get their names in certain history books. Whether it's good or bad, they're going to feel like they can get their names themselves noticed. That's what crazy people do. They do crazy stuff, man. All this, mental health stuff, and the whole the notion that anything is going to be done policy wise to keep these things from happening. I had a Facebook conversation earlier today, and apparently now this thing that this modification, this legal modification that he added to this gun, this something stock or whatever. He first of all, it's legal, and apparently not a whole lot of people knew about it or knew what it was, especially the lawmakers. But now, guess what? It's being talked about in this mass shooting. So now it's selling out across the country. This is how dumb this place is that we live. Oh, what? Hundreds of people were injured and killed? I got to get me one. What kind of attitude is that to have? I'm good, man. Greatest country in the world, where the death of your fellow citizens is like a call. It's like a call to arms. God, man. You know what I mean? Like Trump and the Korean cat need to just go ahead and get it over with, man. Like stop dragging this whole nuclear thing out. Just get it over with and end this thing, man. Because people are so stupid. Speaking of Vegas, also, O.J. Simpson got out of jail this week. That's a thing. And you know what happened too? It was kind of without a lot of fanfare. O.J. got out of jail, and it was what it is. Like, one dude caught O.J. at the gas station. O.J. said a couple things to him. It was like, I wish you guys would leave me alone. And then people left him alone. It wasn't really a whole lot to it. You know what I mean? And I think, shout to that. Good. To me, I didn't understand why black people were so happy. The juice is loose. He's out. Whatever. O.J. can stay in jail forever and ever and ever as far as I'm concerned. Like, I'm not, that whole ridiculousness about, maybe he didn't do it, or this robbery thing, he was just stealing back his own stuff, and it was just payback for him getting off on the murders. Okay, good, because it's like if you beat a double murder, two white folks, and you a black dude in America, you know what you do? Lay low, cuz. Don't kick up no waves. Don't take your goons to somebody's hotel room, whether or not you think it's your stuff or not, with guns and talking about holding people hostage and all that. Don't do that. So then whatever you get after that, that's on you, cuz. You could have been just playing golf, chilling, being OJ, doing stupid stuff, antagonizing this family, talking about writing books like if you would have done it. You could have kept doing all that. Nah, that wasn't good enough. I got to show you. I don't even know if y'all remember this. When they was taking my man down the back stairs of, I guess, the hotel, arresting him for the crime that he ended up doing 9 years for, that dude was still playing and joking, talking about, well, I thought what happened in Vegas stayed in Vegas. My man. Only to start crying when he realized when he thought they was gonna give his ass 30 years behind this, because they kept saying like, you're sentenced to this many years for this, and this many years for this, and this many years for this, but it ended up running concurrent, not consecutive. Yeah. You don't like what my man said, you the only one playing, cuz on Friday, you the only one playing. And then you played your ass all the way to the bank for 9 years. So I thought OJ was gonna die in there anyway. But he's out. Something else that happened this week, and I didn't really get all the way into it. LeVar Ball. And this is and I hate when people, because this has been like a week of a lot of, to me, overreaction. A lot of things have just like gone and jumped the shark and just gone awry. And then it puts me in a position where I have to, in some way, feel like I'm defending someone who I don't want to defend. Like, I don't want to defend LeVar Ball. He's a clown. You know what I mean? But what happens is, I don't know what news outlet it is, voted him the worst. I don't know if it's voted. They just labeled him, I guess, not voted. Labeled him the worst sports parent ever. That's not really a thing, man. Because here's the real deal. There's stories, and I read one today. I think a family jumped on a coach, I think, of a youth football, jumped on him and choked him out or whatever, casting shot referees at these youth football games. Like, those cats would probably be, they would probably be the worst sports parents. You know what I mean? Like, if you assaulting your son or daughter's coach, if you kicking the crap or shooting the referee that's reffing for whatever, $10 a game at your son or daughter's, sport, you're probably the worst sports parent ever. As far as I know, LeVar Ball hadn't done that. Now, what LeVar Ball has done, and what he did this week, it's his kid. He pulled his kid out of the school he was going to, so the kid will no longer be playing high school basketball. Well, that's his call. I'm like, if you like it, I love it. But I took exception with him using some sort of bullcrap excuse initially, saying, oh, our lives are so public now and we're so famous that he couldn't possibly go to that school. I want to protect him from all the attention, and I'm calling bull all out the gate. It wasn't until, a story came out, that the real story came out, that he was having beef with the new coach after he got the last coach fired. Now you say, Mike, you talking about this dude getting coaches fired. That's kind of inflammatory. Well, I'm not the only one who thinks so. So first, let you hear from LeVar Ball as to why he actually pulled this kid out of school.
Wasting time. They got that raggedy administration over there and that raggedy coach. Ain't gonna mess up what my son been doing.
Like, who talks like that, man? How? This dude scored 92 points last year in the basketball game. What are they messing up, man? Just because they won't listen to him. That's what it's all about. And you say, Mike, how do you know that? Here's how I know that.
Everybody knows when they take that job, they got to deal with me. Who do they think built the program? Nobody knows about Chino Hills if the ball boys ain't there. Now, if you listen and get along with me, you're going to be undefeated. But once you want to do it your way and have your name on it and say, hey, it's me who did it, you're going to fall down.
I'm so glad, man. I love when people stand up to idiots like that, man. And whether they go 30 whatever and 0 or 0 and 30 whatever, how many ever games they play, it's important, man, that you don't give people that kind of power. You know what I'm saying? That false sense of I run this. This coach is getting paid. He got hired to do a job. And if the only thing you serve to do is, one, promote you and your sons, and in the process make his job harder, yeah, man, no one should have to deal with that at their gig, man, from no parent. Because that's what he is. He's just a parent. One of many on a basketball team. Nothing should give him the impression that he's that much more important. Like, when he start talking about building a program, does the fact that your son goes there is, like, I don't know how many kids are getting scholarship offers because the ball boys are there. Do they have, like, alumni giving money now because the ball boys are there? Has his son given money to the school that he graduated from now that he's in the NBA making millions of dollars? Like, I don't know what he's talking about. And very rarely, if you listen to this dude, very rarely does anyone. Everything is so big and ambiguous and just wildly, just these wild tales. He's a salesman, man. He's just the loudest dude in the barbershop every single time, man. And then when asked, like, he was asked about, who's going to teach the dude. Of course he is. He's going to teach him everything. All his high school courses. He ain't going to teach that dude nothing. You know how I know? Here's how I know.
I can get him the best game every day. All the fact, I just got to go down to the hood, say, who want to ball with my son? And it'd be ex-pros, D1 guys, JC guys who don't want to study, say, hey, I'm coming up there right now.
Yep, bunch of guys who don't want to study. And look, I don't care about none of that. I don't care. Like, when I was in high school, I didn't care about high school. I wanted to play ball too. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a big deal. Like, I'm still not that dude. Of course, you need to be able to count. You need to be able to write legibly and speak legibly as well, or coherently. But like so much of the other stuff, No, I can take it or leave it. Especially now you got Google. You can Google anything you want to know now. But I go back to what I said on Wednesday on the Hump Day show here on the One Mic with Big Mike show. I go back to me saying that this feels so, and it comes across so self-serving. I mean, like it's about him. Everything you hear is about him. I built this program. I'm doing this. I don't care nothing about the NCAA. I. You know what I mean? And in the process, maybe, there may be a situation where he skates through all this unscathed. I don't know how. It feels like a juggling act. At some point, one of the balls, no pun intended, one of the balls is gonna hit the ground. I just today, by the way, saw a picture of him and his 3 boys, and I just today saw what the second boy looks like. I was talking about this on Wednesday, how I just didn't know who the second boy was. I couldn't picture him, and I don't believe I've ever seen him until like today, because I didn't recognize his face. Like, oh, okay, I remember him now. No, none of that. So we'll see how this whole LeVar Ball thing plays out, because that's what it is. It's the LeVar Ball thing. We'll see how it plays out when one of his sons is, if the second boy is drafted. He gets drafted by the Mavericks. And then the third boy gets drafted by, I don't know, the Hawks or whatever. Let's see how he reacts, because he seems like the dude who wants these kids under his thumb at all times. And not only that, we've seen with athletes in the past, turn from boys to men and want to be their own men. We saw Kobe Bryant fall out with his old man over his wife, Vanessa. You know what I mean? Him and Bean Bryant fell out over that. His dad didn't think, meeting a girl on the set of a video shoot was the girl that should be fathering his grandchildren. And he let his voice be heard. And Kobe was like, no, I love her. She's going to eventually take me back for cheating on her, causing her miscarriages. And I love her. He didn't say all that, but, it ended up happening that way. So, yeah. I could see that happening. I could see a little bit of a rift, because eventually I think we all want to become our own men. Especially if this kid, especially if Lonzo ends up being as good as he's projected to be, he's going to want to be Lonzo Ball and not LeVar Ball's son. I would assume. I don't know. Of course, I don't know these kids. But it would just seem like that's the natural progression of most of us. Continuing on here with the weekend review on the One Mic with Big Mike show. I'm not going to be here all night tonight. I got some work to do. I'm going to be working all weekend. I got a couple projects that came in today, or one that came in today, and one that's supposed to come in today as well. That's going to keep me busy through the weekend. I got to start it tonight. So, yeah, wipe your tears right now. I'm not going to be here all night. The NCAA basketball investigation, the FBI investigation on that. One of their top coaches, I guess, Coach K is probably the top coach in the sport. He decided he was going to speak out today. And he said some interesting things. I made sure I pulled this sound for you guys so you can hear it directly from the horse's mouth. I did a little work today, you know what I'm saying? Instead of me reading the comments, I'll let you guys hear what Coach K has to say. And these guys, him, and Roy Williams spoke out as well. I got a couple of quotes from him. Not the sound, not the actual audio, but, some quotes from him as it relates to, everything that's going on with these shoe companies. These guys are trying to get on the record as being the great ambassadors of this terrible Gestapo, this damn organized crime unit called the NCAA. Anyway, here's Coach K talking about. He's talking actually opposite of what I'm saying. I'm thinking. I think most people are saying this is the tip of the iceberg. He seems to think differently.
Last week was bad. It doesn't mean all of college basketball is bad. It also doesn't mean that that's necessarily the tip of some iceberg. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think the iceberg is really good. That's a
man hoping. He's hoping they don't come knocking on his door. You know what I mean? Because Duke got that awesome Nike contract. Speaking of freaking Nike contracts, a report came out today Freaking Rick Pitino, man. Golly. It's always the greed that gets you, ain't it? Well, not always, but I mean, the greed gets you. Apparently, this dude was pocketing reportedly 98% of the Adidas money was going to him. I'm talking like he's taking like 1.5 million every time out the box and just dropping 25 grand into the program. Jesus, man. Like, I'm telling you, dog, it's good to be white, boy. Cause look what's happening too. They just fired 2 more assistants today. And like all the assistants that's going to jail behind this so far are bruhs. You know what I mean? And it's like, what was I reading today, man? I think it was something in the Undefeated. And it was talking about how these black assistants are commissioned with going out and getting the best talent. Go out, get me the best talent, freaking, whatever you got to do, get them. But leave me out of it, because when the ish hits the fan, I want to be able to say, I want that plausible deniability that I ain't know nothing. So Chuck Persons, this dude from Arizona, my man from Auburn, yeah, they all going up the river trying to figure out who's going to snitch first to get the better deal to not catch them 60 years that the Fed got over their head. All on some shoe money. Feel me? Some shoe money that, if we real about it, y'all heard me talk to my man, speaking of reviewing the week, my man Steve Silver was on Monday. The money that should have been going to the damn kids anyway. It's just a bad look, man. And I don't mean bad look as far as like on some me being a, what's the word I'm looking for? Dang, I just had a brain fart. You know what I mean? On some, not me being a moralist, that's the word I'm looking for. A moralist about it. Nah, the moral thing would be that these kids are walking around being human billboards, but they get none of the benefits. And then the worst thing ever, man, when they show these videos of these kids like getting these Jordans, these free Jordans, and the kids are like, oh my God, they so fresh. Yeah, dude. But if you really knew, your man is getting free Jordans too, or whatever the new Hardens or whatever they are, if it's Adidas, but he's also getting a 1.5 million bucks behind that as well. Not to mention the money that's in his contract already. So it looks foolish, but they kids. So it's all about, tantalizing with this shiny thing here. Why do you think Michigan went Jordan brand? Harbaugh walked in the building. He knew. What's going to help me recruit these black kids? Yep. J's. As many Jordans as you want to. Even on the field, you wearing Jordans. Brilliant move. But let's not listen to Coach K talking about this old ridiculousness about, well, it's just a freaking, tip of the iceberg, and I don't think it's the tip of the iceberg. I think this is what it is. He goes on to talk about the payments not being rampant.
A lot of parents, they run their own AAU programs, and they're funded by the shoe company. It's all legal, but you want to make sure that it's all there. And that's why I don't think this thing about shoe companies giving kids money is rampant.
You hope so, B. Like Coach K hopes so. But it is, man. Come on, man. And the Fed is going to find this out very, very, very soon. You dig what I'm saying? They're going to find out real soon that this goes beyond just basketball. Because basketball players' families ain't the only ones that want money for their kids. They may not be no damn AAU for basketball, or I shouldn't say there isn't. It just goes by a different name. These passing camps and all this kind of stuff, same deal. Cause you think these shoe companies ain't got they fingers in that honey pot? Come on, man. We'll take a break, man. Come back. I'll get back on some of this weekend review, and also, get into on this day, give you guys some of these historical tidbits from yesteryear, I guess. Shout out to my man Big L. He's in the chat room. You guys can join him in there if you like. Just click that little thought bubble icon you see on the streaming player if you're listening to me via Spreaker or the Spreaker app right now. Let's take a break. I got a little phlegm going on in my throat, so I definitely need one. I'll be right back.
I have one question for you.
Do you or someone you know run a business that could benefit from additional exposure? The One Mic with Big Mike show is currently taking on new sponsors and advertisers. One Mic with Big Mike is currently syndicated across 8 different online platforms, and your company's name could be heard and seen across all 8 as well.
Let's get to work.
Please send all inquiries to Mike at onemicwithbigmike.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your continued support.
All I need is one mic. Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Jason Derulo. I love that music connects to people all over the country. But unfortunately, so does something else. Childhood hunger. 15 million kids struggle with hunger right here in America. And yet, every year, billions of pounds of surplus food in the U.S. go to waste instead of going to the children in need. Feeding America is working to change this. The Feeding America nationwide network of food banks rescues this surplus of food to help provide meals to families in virtually every community in the United States, including yours. But they just can't do this alone. Join me in the fight against hunger in America. For more information on what you can do to get involved, visit feedingamerica.org. That's feedingamerica.org. Together we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America. A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
And now, back to One Mic.
What are we waiting for? Let's get to it.
With Big Mike.
That horn means it's quitting time, man. End of the week. Hope everybody had a decent week this week. I mean, a lot of tragedy went on in the world this week out there in Vegas, but hopefully, man, you know, the stuff in Puerto Rico is still happening. Shout out to my people out in New Orleans, too, man. Apparently, there's another tropical storm that could turn into a hurricane headed you guys' way, so here we go again, right? And in a couple of days, it's supposed to make its way through Atlanta as well, so that sucks, you know what I mean? But what global warming? What climate change, huh? It's the One Mic with Big Mike show, man. Here, Spreaker.com is where you're hearing me, or either the Spreaker app or TuneIn. Don't forget the show is also available on demand anytime on those outlets, as well as on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and YouTube. And also I'm streaming live video on the Facebook page right now. Shout out to my homegirl, Veronica, Miss Becton, recently married, used to be Veronica Waters over at the old WSB, the former shop over at WSB. My man Derek Lawrence checking me out here on Facebook Live. And of course, my man Big L checking me out. Before I go to On This Day, Big L said something in reaction to what I was just talking about. He said summer camps are big in football now. And, you know, this is how big these summer camps are. I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, damn, my parents couldn't afford this kind of stuff, man. Like, the coaches had to come to us. And I was like thinking to myself, like, I wasn't they didn't have the stars and all that, but I knew I wasn't going to be no top, no 5-star. I went to one AA school. That's where I got my scholarship at. But if I had to depend on going to all these, like traveling to all these camps, my mom was them shelling out all these thousands of dollars to drive me to these camps, it'd have been a no-go, homie. You know what I'm saying? They was talking about this quarterback, and I can't remember what game I was looking at, but he started out as a walk-on, and now he's a starting quarterback, and he's going to end up getting drafted. I want to say it was Oregon State, maybe? I don't remember exactly who it was, but the story, the crux of the story is that he wasn't highly recruited, and the term that was used, I think Herb Street used the term, he wasn't a camp kid, meaning just what I'm saying. He didn't go to all these damn camps for whatever reason. So because he didn't, apparently the coaches didn't know nothing about him. Like, that to me kind of spells laziness a little bit, but you know, it is what it is. You know what I mean? So yeah, the bigger point, going back to what I was talking about last segment, is there's big money in that. And if you think that the shoe companies are just like cutting their own balls off, like, we're just gonna stick to basketball, think again, because this tree is going, the roots that are sprouting from this tree, I think are gonna go far and freaking wide. Let's take a look back, man.
Now, let's take a look back.
On this day.
All right, here. Let's see. Your final edition of On This Day. Starting on this day in 1880, the National League kicked the Cincinnati Reds out of the league because they were selling beer. On this day in 1985, the great one, Joe Montana, set an NFL record with 57 pass attempts. He threw for 5 touchdowns and 429 yards. Look, that was like a big thing in 1985. You know what I should have done? But because I didn't really read these before, I put them on my sheet. This record can't stand right now. It can't still be a record. Not all of it. 57 pass attempts. I got to believe that somebody's thrown the ball more than 57 times since then. In this era of football, please. But in 1985, that was like the big joint, right? 5 touchdowns. Like somebody's going to throw for 5 touchdowns like this. Wait. Wait a minute. Deshaun, what's the boy's name? The boy from Clemson threw 5 touchdowns last week, didn't he? Or did he just account for 5? Which one are we talking about? Either way, not a big deal anymore. On this day in 1993, after 9 years of playing in the NBA, Michael Jeffrey Jordan retires from basketball. And then finally, on this day in 2001, the Seattle Mariners, they tied the 1906 Chicago Cubs with 116 wins in a single season for the winningest team in Major League history. They won 116 games. I think they got bounced in the first round. I don't think in 2001 we were dealing with wild cards at that time, but they got bounced in the first round, and it goes down as one of those Golden State Warriors, one of those New England Patriots type of, people call it meltdowns or, blowing it or whatever people want to call it. That is your Friday edition of On This Day. Monday is Columbus Day. Goody. You get to celebrate another racist. And a lie. That's always fun. People in these stupid, ridiculous holidays. I was watching something the other day. They was talking about it was Blackish, and apparently this dude never ever stepped foot on the continental United States. What's known now as the continental United States. The lies we tell, man, is ridiculous. Like when history just has to become his story. You know what I mean? I was looking at I don't know what channel I was looking at last night, because now I got this AT&T thing. It's like 5 million channels, because and some of them are kind of just ambiguous. You know what I mean? But it was some sort of fact versus fiction thing about July 4th, about Independence Day, and they was talking about how really the United States declared its independence on the 2nd of July. So really, your effort should be not you, black folks, because you know what you was doing during that time. If white people wanted to like bust off fireworks, it's really on the 2nd, not the 4th. The 4th was the day that John Hancock actually signed the document. But also part of that is a lie, because the way the story is told, that all these members of Congress signed the Declaration of Independence and all this kind of stuff on the 4th. And what happened in reality was it took months. And it makes sense to me, because guess what? These people are all over the country. They got to ride in on wagons and stuff. They don't have private jets like the Trump folks got. So it was going to take them some time to get to, where was it, Pennsylvania at the time, to sign the document. They weren't all in that place at the same time ever, is what this show was talking about yesterday. But again, man, that's America for you, man. The home of the lies, man. That should be in the song. In the, when they talk about the home of the brave, it's the home of the lies. It's not history. It's whatever his story is. All right, let me take my black glove off and get back to my show. So yeah, we're talking about the weekend review. We're going over the weekend review, and Coach K had some more interesting things to say. I was talking about Coach K's kind of address on college basketball this past week. He started talking about the landscape, and this is a very pointed statement about how the NCAA isn't evolving. Everything else is evolving. The players are evolving. The economics are evolving, but the organization itself isn't evolving.
The landscape for the player keeps changing. We in college have not changed as much as the landscape has changed. The landscape before we get them has changed dramatically. And certainly the NBA in that has changed dramatically with money, one and done and whatever. We are not equipped right now to handle that. We don't have a good model.
Yeah, but the other thing about that is too, like, Like, stop bringing other folks into it, man. Like, deal with what you dealing with. Like, because the one and done, that ain't keeping you from putting no money in these kids' pocket or taking it out. That ain't doing nothing for that. Like, the NBA can worry about that on their own time. And part of the reason that the NBA is doing that is for the NCAA, for their benefit, not for the league. Come on, man. Like, think about who all the players that you like are. KD, one and done. LeBron, none and done. You know what I mean? Kobe was none and done. Kevin Garnett, none and done. I think the percentages like in the 80s, man, of these kids that came out of high school, like guys like Lou Williams, people who you don't really think about. Lou Williams came straight out of high school right down here. What was it? Central Gwinnett. He went to right down here in Atlanta. Straight out of high school, second round pick. That dude he's carved out a good, better than good living. Guys like Josh Smith and Dwight Howard. The guys who like you may kind of just forget about. Mari Stoudemire. No college needed. But what happens is, you know, people react to young kids, young black kids getting money. Because I always continue to make these type of comparisons that no one stopped Jordan Spieth. Probably the best golfer in the world right now. At least the most consistent. No one stopped him from leaving Texas after 1 year of college. Because he looked around and was like, I'm better than all these bums. I need to go make money. All you heard was crickets. No one. You let a bunch of black kids pass on a fake education, which a lot of them are getting, man. A lot of these fake, look at the story in Syracuse or the stuff at North Carolina. If you think those things are happening independent of everything else, you fooling yourself as well. Kids having to major in Swahili. What you gonna do with that, B? In the real world, what you gonna do with Swahili? My guess is nothing. So yeah. And the last thing from Coach K before I move on, because yes, I'm going to get to Cam Newton, man. Because we've got to find a way to talk about this Cam Newton thing, man, and be human beings and talk about it. But the last thing Coach K said was about the money. What should be done with the money?
The three major shoe companies have allocated amazing resources to grassroots. Somehow they feel that produces more revenue. People are always, that's business. That's business. And then these kids should benefit from that market, right?
But how much of his money is he willing to give towards this cause is what I'm asking. Because the same way Rick Pitino, part of his salary is coming from Adidas or came from Adidas, I'm assuming that part of the Coach K salary comes, a nice part of it comes from the Nike money. So would he be willing to say, all right, I'll just take my salary from the school, $5 million or whatever it is, and whatever the excess is, whether it's $2 or $3 million from Nike, we can use that money across. Feel me? We can use that money across basketball and football. Let's see let's see if his tone is the same then when they start talking about his money coming up short. It's all fine and good to say now. You know, you stand up and say, you know, I believe these kids should get money. What if it's your money? What if it's the money that you've been getting? Rick Pitino was taking 98% plus the money in his contract. What if it's that, Luke, cuz? How you gonna be sounding then? Because I ain't hear him say that. I remember, who was it? Was it Spurrier? Spurrier said that a while ago. He was talking about, you know, he should be able to, you know, take part of his salary and disperse it amongst his kids. Because, like, if there's one thing, I think Steve Spurrier is a huge gaping butthole. But the one thing about him is he's never run his programs as though they were college programs. he like this is a dude that comes in, like when he got to South Carolina, that dude started cutting players, not because they were getting in trouble or because they were academically ineligible. That dude was cutting players because they didn't fit his system. They weren't even in a situation where like most coaches come in and say, well, you know what? I'll play with these kids and take the time to recruit my kids, and then we'll be all right. He was like, nah, you probably need to find you somewhere else to play ball, cuz. You probably need to go ahead and pack your stuff. And I thought I still do think it's a douchebag move, but I'm using it to make the point that dude has always felt like he was running a professional program at Florida, at South Carolina, not so much with the Redskins, but you feel what I'm saying? Yeah, and Big L is right. Big L's in the chat room. Tennis pros, baseball pros, yeah. If it's all white, it's all right. Yo, black boy need to be in school. Like that whole notion too. Like here's the other thing before I move on. Stop talking about if a kid goes to school, he has to stay for 3 years. That's ridiculous. Because the first example I'm going to always give people is Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis wasn't ready to come out of high school and go pro. But Anthony Davis grew 6 inches in the summer and became an animal, became a grown man playing for Coach Cal. Why then should he have to then stay 2 more years, especially what you know now of his injury history? Why should he have to stay in college and be hurt for free and rehab for free? Well, he can go to the pro. What's Anthony Davis' salary right now? I know he signed a pretty bum deal, and then all the incentive stuff came and he couldn't meet the incentives, but it's still like double digits, like 8 figures. Man, you better quit with that craziness. Well, if you go, you have to stay. No, you don't get to hold people hostage, man. No other industry in the world is like that unless you're getting paid and under contract. And even then, they have certain things called non-competes where you can leave. You just can't work nowhere else for a certain amount of time. You can't make somebody continue to work for free, man. There's a word for that. On the tip of my tongue, I just can't think of what it is, though. You know what I mean? You just can't do that while you pocketing like hella loot, billions. Also, along the Colin Kaepernick front, as we continue to wrap up the week and review the week here, the Tennessee Titans decided they were going to sign Brandon Weeden, not Colin Kaepernick, because Colin Kaepernick doesn't know their system. I would make the argument once again that, guess what? Brandon Weeden doesn't know anyone's system. He's a bad quarterback. You know what I mean? So that argument is ridiculous. And then today, one of the former GMs of the Tennessee Titans, he wanted to put his little 2 cents in the mix. Talk about how it's too much of a show to sign Colin Kaepernick. They don't want to touch him. They don't want to touch him because it's too much of a show. I'm like, all right, man, you got cats around. You got Jerry Jones right taking knees and, acquiescing to this dumbass president. But Colin Kaepernick off limits. It's like, come on, man, racist much? what we talking about here, man? But I don't know why I have that tone in my voice as I talk about that, because I've already said many a time that my man is done, man. He's done playing football, man. It's a travesty. But welcome to America, right? That's what it is. I say this quite frequently, that in America, that even if your transgressions aren't necessarily transgressions, you are made to bear those scars forever. Just like getting whipped or your foot cut off for trying to escape. Like no one in 2017 can make the argument that there's anything wrong with trying to escape slavery, right? But if you did it at that time, you were beaten or maimed for it in a way where the marks would continue to be on you. You get an R branded on your face. You get whelps on your back. You get your foot cut off. Things that you can't hide anymore. You can't hide. Same thing with Colin Kaepernick, man. He ran afoul to the people in charge, and now they're going to make him pay forever. He's going to have to wear it forever. Ain't no coming back. Ain't no retribution. Ain't no, well, we know now that it was wrong. Nah, ain't people. Like, people still don't talk about slavery as a thing that's wrong. They just talk about it as a thing that needs to go away. When I say people, I mean white people. Just to be, so that you understand specifically what I'm saying. They kind of just like, brush it off or, get over it. All right. Since you say so, I will. And then there's Terrell Pryor. As we go down this rabbit hole, apparently after the Monday night football game between the Chiefs and the Redskins, this is so wild. This story has so much irony in it. as it stands. Terrell Pryor, he flipped off a fan that was giving him the business, I guess, as he was walking back into the locker room after the game. They had just lost the game, and he gave him, the middle finger salute. And when he was asked about it, said that the fan called him an N-word, and that he had been calling him the N-word. Which is pretty much, that's par for the course. Now, I'm not saying that Terrell Pryor is lying about this, but that's what you do. You know what I'm saying? Somebody hits you off and you react. You react unfavorably, as people would call, in a way people would call unfavorably. Yeah, throw some racist stuff in there. That'll get them off your back real quick. That's what. Remember, a couple years ago, Marcus Smart did that. This fat white dude was on the baseline over there when he was playing at Oklahoma State. Trying to give it to him. You know what I'm saying? He was trying to give it to Marcus Smart, and Marcus Smart, being the hothead that he is, he pushed the dude. And then, I guess, realized what he did and was like, but he called me a nigger. And I remember actually doing a show on radio here down here in Atlanta at 92.9 The Game. I was doing one of my first and last, before I got fired, solo shows. And I remember saying, man, oh, no, it wasn't solo. It was me and Rob. And I remember saying, like, after it happened, I was like, watch what he end up saying happened. Something racist happened is what he's going to say. And then he did, because that's what you do. You kind of get him off your back a little bit. But then audio came out. The guy didn't end up saying that. They had pretty clear audio of him not saying that. And then I'm still not the dude that's going to be like Marcus Smart was lying. I always ask this question, though. Like, if you're 20 years old, you was born in the 90s, why does that word make you that mad? Like, that's not even your anger. That's someone else's anger. That's you being angry because you feel like you're expected to be angry about that. It's like those people who show out at funerals and stuff. Like, you're acting in a way that you feel like you're supposed to act in that setting. Like on social media, when somebody dies and everybody's like, oh, R.I.P. this. Oh, I can't believe this happened. This fat comedian died today named Ralphie May. He died. He's 45 years old, died. His heart gave out. And I was like, when I saw the post, I was like, come on, B. If I gave you the over-under on this cat, do you think he's going to live beyond 50 or die before 50? All y'all would take under 50. It's not like this dude was fighting to live, being as fat as he was. Come on, man. But you react the way you think people expect you to. R.I.P. Hugh Hefner. That dude was 96 years old or whatever. Eventually, the sand was gonna run out of that damn hourglass. Hugh Hefner wasn't gonna live to be 400 years old. People act surprised. Oh man, Prince was a dope fiend. So was Michael Jackson. So was Whitney Houston. Eventually, no matter how famous you are, those things tend to catch up with you in the long run. You know what I mean? But I digress. So anyway, Terrell Pryor said his reason for flashing the middle finger to a Chiefs fan on Monday night had nothing to do with losing the football game. Pryor explained in an Instagram post that he had been called the N-word several times, to the point where an NFL employee had to stand by me, quote unquote. Starting into the second quarter until the end of the game, this is the exact reason why guys are kneeling during the anthem. Can we explore that real quick, that last statement? That is not the reason. If you're kneeling and you're protesting because someone is using a word, get over yourself. Grow up. If as black people, man, we continue to let people use a word to control our emotions. Come on, man. Like, when is somebody just gonna be like, I'm better than that? Because here's the deal. In 2017, it's a whole lot different than in 1917. If a white boy was calling you a nigga in 1917, he probably had a rope with him and was probably going to string you up from a tree. If some hillbilly in West Virginia wants to call me a nigga now, you the fool. I'm probably going to guarantee my life is way better than yours, cuz. You know what I mean? Have at it. Go right ahead, dude. I'll laugh at you, cuz. Because this ain't that. But we're taught that we're supposed to be mad and we're supposed to react and we're supposed to be belligerent when that word is uttered by anyone that doesn't look like us. And we'll get to that here in a second when we'll get to more of that when we start talking about this Cam Newton situation. Because I got questions as it pertains to that whole deal and rigmarole. So anyway, Terrell Pryor talks about himself kneeling. Quote, I chose not to kneel, because as a team, we decided to be one and stand, But as I walked in the tunnel, hearing some of you call me the N-word and say F you to me flicking the person off is more deserving. I do apologize to my teammates and organization, but at some point you keep calling us the N-word, we're going to start acting up. Why? Like, I'll remind people, I never heard that white boy who shot Philando Castile call him an N-word, nor Michael Brown, nor Tamir Rice. All those brothers that's ended up in jail doing crazy bids for nonviolent crimes, little weed charges. They're not getting called N-words, but yet the damage is being done. That word ain't doing nothing to you, man. Other than, to me, distracting you from real stuff. But that's just me, I guess, right? You know, that's just little old me. Everybody want to be offended, man. That's like the worst thing that can be done to somebody. Oh, I'm offended. Oh, what you said was offensive. Be an adult. You know what I mean? Ask yourself the question, how is this affecting my day-to-day life and how I go about my business? If it's not, I'd venture to say you can ignore it and let stupid people do what stupid people do. That's what it is. You know, this is why, like, that whole little spell that these white folks got y'all charged up about with these statues and stuff, I could take it or leave it. Okay, the statue is racist. Fine. If it's up and down, how is that going to affect income inequality? How is that going to come? How is that going to affect the level of education in my neighborhood? How is that going to affect these voter restrictions that go on every day, this gerrymandering? How is that going to affect these other things? I saw Andy Young on CNN talking about this, and he's somebody who knows. He was talking about a couple of statues that got taken down, but what had to be traded, the things that had to be traded in order for those things to happen, weren't worth it. They were things that were actually policy driven, that would have helped out black people more than just not seeing a damn statue. But people are so wrapped up in the things that make them feel good or feel better, your emotions, that the real plausible things, the things you can put your hands on, get washed to the wayside. And that's the big trick that America continues to play on black people over and over and over again. It's like Charlie Brown and Lucy. Just keep moving the football, and this dumbass just keep trying to run up and kick it. Black people just keep trying to run up and kick it. Yeah, we're going to get these statues down. We're going to change the name of this school. We're going to change it. Okay, and then what? Then what? What's the next contingency plan? We're going to stomp out racism. No, you're not. This country is found. It's so deeply rooted in this country, you're not going to stamp it out. But the easy thing to do is get your ass in the street and start walking around talking about you doing something. The hard thing to do is find out which one of these policies is negatively affecting you and the people who look like you, and then working your ass off to get them changed. That's the challenge. And right now, as black people, we're not up to it. I'm saying we. Not y'all, we're not up to it. This is why it's so much easier to fall for the old banana in the tailpipe statues and people saying the N-word. And look, man, take my advice, and I don't give a lot of it. Just do the best you can for you. Because this whole waiting on the culture, waiting on the entire race to come together, you're going to be waiting till you dead, your kid's dead, your kid's kids is dead. Everybody's gone, waiting on that to happen. When I come back, man, I want to talk about Cam Newton. I don't want to talk about Cam Newton. But I'm going to talk about Cam Newton and his little snafu this weekend. It's the One Mic with Big Mike show, man. I'm here live on Spreaker.com, the Spreaker app. Tune in. And, of course, OneMicWithBigMike.com, at least for one more day on the website. You can hear me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, starting at 7 o'clock or you can catch the show on demand on all of those outlets, as well as on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and YouTube. If you want to get in on the show, man, I need to give the number more. 404-902-8104 is the number you want to text. 404-902-8104, or drop me a line here on my my Facebook live stream at the number 1 MICWITHBIGMIKE. I'll be right back.
I have one question for you.
Do you or someone you know run a business that could benefit from additional exposure? The One Mic with Big Mike show is currently taking on new sponsors and advertisers. One Mic with Big Mike is currently syndicated across 8 different online platforms, and your company's name could be heard and seen across all 8 as well.
Let's get to work.
Please send all inquiries to Mike at onemicwithbigmike.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your continued support.
All I need is one mic.
Go, Caleb! Come on, hit a homer, Jesse!
Let's go, guys!
Hey, did you guys know that kids who play sports earn more money when they grow up?
Of course. I knew that.
Hey, did you guys know that kids who read books have a bigger vocabulary?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Wow, jinx. Did you guys know that friendly children have more friends?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That's true. I knew that. Did you guys know that winter babies are better at music?
Everyone knows that.
Oh, yeah?
It's pretty obvious.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
obvious.
Oh, hey, guys, did you know that most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Huh, I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure I knew that.
I'm pretty sure you didn't.
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right car seat at the right age and size. Visit safercar.gov/the right seat to make sure your child is protected. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
One Mic.
All I need is one mic.
It's just different.
One Mic with Big Mike.
The overall tenor of what he's saying is very stupid.
And they say his style is too urban for the radio.
Maybe it's not racism, maybe it's placism.
Brother has to know his place, right, Bob?
One Mic with Big Mike.
Things aren't always what they seem.
A sports talk show, but no subject matter is off limit.
Don't just tell me that the reason something's being done is because that's the way it's always been done. Because the first thing I'm going to say to you is slavery.
And now, your host.
I got the big homie here who needs no introduction.
Big Mike.
All I need is one mic.
Y'all know what it is, man. 1 hour down. I don't know, man. I might do this whole next hour. Not sure. Get everything off the plate and then see where the chips land, man. I'm here, man. Friday, getting ready for the weekend. Looks to be another beautiful one here in the A, man. Not so much for my people out in Louisiana, New Orleans, man. Got another storm coming your way. Looks like it's going to turn from a tropical storm to maybe a Category 1, Category 2, or whatnot, man. So y'all be safe out there. If your people, your officials tell you to get out, man, bounce, man. Well, I don't know, man. Your people in New Orleans, y'all know how to ride those things out, man. It's not going to be one of those Katrina level situations, you know what I'm saying? But do what you think is best for you and yours, man. I guess that's the best way I could put it. Follow me, man. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all the same, at the number 1 MICWITHBIGMIKE. Streaming live video on the Facebook page. You can get in on that. Leave your comments and questions below the stream. You can also text them to 404-902-8104 or jump on inside my live interactive chat room like my big homie Big L has done here on a Friday, man. So yeah, we're just recapping the week. You know what I'm saying? Recapping the week. We'll get into some of the stuff nothing really happened today. Nothing really important happened today. We're just recapping the week. And the big story that, to me, is kind of a non-story, if I'm going to be honest with you guys, which I always am, as much as I possibly can be. The situation with Cam Newton. So Cam Newton was asked a question by a female reporter during a press junket or a press conference or whatnot, and his response to her wasn't the most politically correct. Say it that way. So if you were somewhere living under a rock or in a cave or somewhere, didn't hear it, here it go.
I know you take a lot of pride in seeing your receivers play well. Devin Funchess has seemed to really embrace the physicality of his routes and getting those extra yards. Does that give you a little bit of an enjoyment to see him kind of truck sticking people out there?
It's funny to hear a female talk about routes. Like, it's funny. But
and the thing about it too, The reason I'm laughing because of his face. Like, when you see his face start lighting up, like he thinks this is about to be like some sort of flirty, charming comment that he's about to make. He has he's impervious to the storm, the ish storm that's coming his way once he utters those words. It's funny to hear a woman talk about routes. Now, I'm here to tell you guys this, man. So kind of just piggybacking off what I was talking about at the end of the last segment. Being offended is not the worst thing that can happen to a person, but it feels like that is a thing in 2017. Where as soon as someone labels something offensive or says, they're offended, everyone has to react in a certain way. Oh my God, look at Cam. Look how stupid he is. Now, I've said for many, many years that Cam is not the most articulate guy. And he gets credit for being articulate because he throws words into sentences like a dude that's in the penitentiary memorizing the dictionary, but not really comprehending it. Like Cam does that a lot. Like if you watch In Living Color back in the days, the perpetude of my subjugation, or should I say my constipation, like that guy. That's Cam in a lot of cases. But people start talking this craziness about how articulate Cam is. And I'm like, are you listening to this dude speak? He tries to use common sayings and he butchers those, and he just throws these words into situations into sentences that they don't belong in. That being what it is, this I don't think is a reason for him to just be for people to just react in a way where they're like, he's so stupid. Nah, he said something, and he said it in a way where, because first of all, let's kind of break down what was asked and what was said. She said that Devin Funches enjoys the more physical routes. He said it's funny to hear a female talk about routes. That's not in just in regular speak, not in a football setting. It shouldn't be surprised that an NFL reporter would ask him about routes. That's kind of like, okay, dude, maybe if you met her at a bar and she started talking that way, you could, because as guys, come on, man, if we're honest guys, you go somewhere and you meet a chick, you know what I'm saying? And she starts talking to you about cover 2 and quarters coverage and, wide 9 techniques and stuff. It's going to take you back a bit in that setting. I don't understand how in that setting, in the setting Cam was in, he'd be like that. That's why I think this dude was just trying to be cute. And it totally backfired on him in the most horrendous of ways, because it's 2017 and everything's offensive. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't hear that clip, or if you didn't read anything about it or see anything about it on SportsCenter, which you would think that he saw her walking down the hallway at the facility and just smacked her on the ass or something crazy. You know what I'm saying? And then told her to go fix him a sandwich. That's what you would think happened. When he just smirked and laughed and said it's funny to hear a woman talk routes. And then now you got all these videos of people putting they daughters on the internet explaining what a route is. And it's like, come on, man. We ain't got to be this. This never had to be that. But everything in 2017 has to be overblown until it has no more gas to it. You know what I'm saying? All these newfound male feminists banging the table. I just think it's so disrespectful that he did that and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, come on, man. Really? This is the problem there is no problem. Cam is not going to keep her from doing her gig. He doesn't have any type of power over her. And I don't think he was trying to insert any power over her to keep her from doing her gig or be promoted at her gig or any of those things. Because meanwhile, a dude that does have all those powers, and like I mentioned to you guys, I think it may have been last week, a dude by the name of Donald J. Trump, who has the most male-dominated staff in the White House. I think they said in the last 25 years. He has been elected to the highest office in this country after talking about how he actually sexually assaults women. Not insults their sensibilities, none of that stuff. Actually put his hands on people and mouth. But for some reason, we got to fly off the handle with this Cam Newton situation. When people who actually have power. Story came out, I don't know if it was today, about this cat, Harvey Weinstein, one of the most powerful dudes in Hollywood. Intimidating broads. I shouldn't say broads in this country. While having this conversation. Intimidating women, forcing them to massage him. People like Ashley Judd, who like one of my favorite white women, you know what I'm saying, to look at, whatnot. I think she's mad cute. But nah, intimidating. Forcing them to massage him, maybe? Or forcing them to let him massage them, whatever, and exposing himself. Like for 30 years, using his role, his money, his power in Hollywood to sexually harass women. Like, that's a real deal. Cam just saying, you know, I'm not used to a female talking to me about routes. You looking for something to report on is all that is. You looking for something to be offended by or something to be irate about. So of course, you know, in the tried and true way of America, of course, you got to humble the black man. He's got to be humbled. And people love that. They love when somebody who's obviously better than them at something, so much so that you can only marvel at it. Marvel at the times when now he's able to be humble. See, Cam Newton fits into that LeVar Ball category with me. Like, I don't want to defend Cam Newton. I don't want to feel like I am. And I don't think I am, but it's going to sound like I am. I feel like I'm what I'm doing, I'm picking apart the idiocy that tells you that you got to jump out of a window because he offended or he said something that is deemed to be offensive in this society, in the 2017 society. So yeah, he's been humbled. He apologized. You guys want to hear that? Sure you do. Here's Grunk. Here's Cam. I'll get to Grunk here in a second. Apologizing.
After careful thought, I understand that my word choice was extremely degrading and disrespectful to women. And to be honest, that was not my intentions. And if you took offense to what I said, I sincerely apologize to you. I'm a man who tries to be a positive role model in my community and tries to use my platform to inspire others. And I take ownership to everything that comes with that. And what I did was extremely unacceptable. I'm a father to two beautiful daughters. And at their age, I try to instill in them that they can do and be anything that they want to be. And the fact that during this whole process, I've already lost sponsors and countless fans, I realized that the joke is really on me. And I've learned a valuable lesson from this. And to the young people who see this, I hope that you learn something from this as well. Don't be like me, be better than me. And to the reporters, to the journalists, to the moms, super moms, to the daughters, the sisters, and the women all around the world, I sincerely apologize and hope that you can find the kindness in your heart to forgive me.
Boy, they love that, boy. Man, coming to you on his knees because he laughed and said something that you ain't like. Good God Almighty. So now, the thing today was, because no one had anything to talk about of substance, right? Ain't nobody trying to talk about these baseball games for real, for real. You know what I'm saying? Now you got to break down the apology. You know, and I heard my man Michael Smith before my show started talking about he was actually misquoting him. I can't stand when people do this. When you're making a point and you misquote somebody, to me it discredits your point. Because I always say this to my wife. the way you take something that I said, I can't be responsible for it. I can only be responsible for what I actually said, which is why I try to be thoughtful enough to say exactly what I mean and mean what I say. I don't know that that's necessarily the case all the time with Cam, but I can only take people at what they say. So when he says, if you took offense, that's different than saying, if I offended you. I think saying if you took offense, he knows he offended people, but he also knows there are people like me who weren't offended. Because at the end of the day, that's not going to affect that young lady. He's not her boss. He's not calling her boss saying that, you know, reporting her or saying because she's a woman, she can't talk to me. He's not doing those things. He just made an off-the-cuff comment that apparently he thought was going to come off a lot less sharply than it did. And it bombed. It was like one of those wonk, wonk, wonk type things. And it got turned, and because it's Cam Newton, it got turned into something that I don't think it should have been. You know, Dannon's a yoga company. Women, you know, they're marketing to women a lot of times. You know what I mean? They pulled a sponsorship. All right, cool. You know, but the thing, remember last segment when I talked about having to wear your scars forever in this country? Like one of those cats on ESPN tried to pull that crap. Like this is the pattern of behavior for Cam Newton. I mean, going back to Florida with the laptop situation. Like what, cuz? You going back to this dude's freshman year at Florida when he was stealing laptops and comparing it to a sexist, what was considered a sexist remark to a reporter today or this week? That's a stretch, man. That's a large stretch. Like, how does one even correlate to the other? It's like you just wanted to do that. You know what I mean? You just wanted to bring up the laptop situation at some point and use this as an excuse to do so. And that's ridiculous. That's ridiculously stupid, man. You know what I'm saying? And in Cam Newton's and his back and forth relationship with the black community, you know what I mean? I'm like, who am I to say Colin's right or Colin's wrong? To this past weekend, or I guess this past weekend after the past week of him having to go meet with the owner to find out if it was all right that he showed some sort of black pride. He scores a touchdown, throws up the fist, and says, "I'm doing it because I'm an African American." Well, you're also doing it because you got permission. and if you want to like put those two things together, it's almost like you got permission to be black. That's ridiculous to me. You know, you're awarded no points, and may God have mercy on your soul. You know, it's just, I don't know, man. Cam's he's got a real, you know, it's almost like a dude with an identity crisis. You know what I'm saying? Like one of those people that I personally don't trust as far as I can throw him. Somebody who's always trying to be everything for everybody. This is the type of stuff that happens, though. You know what I'm saying? Like guys like Cam, especially black people, black celebrities and athletes, get too comfortable, man. That stuff at that press conference, that's a perfect example of a dude that's just way, way too comfortable. Because he didn't say that. He didn't say what he said out of any type of malice or anything like that. He said it, laughed, he smiled, and moved on, answering the question about the route, about Devin Funchess or whatever. It wasn't until afterwards social media got a hold of it. And people started getting into this whole thing. These are the obstacles that female reporters have to go through day in and day out. People assuming they don't know what they're talking about. I don't know that he assumed he didn't know what she was talking about. He just reacted the way a dude would act at the bar. If a chick just started started breaking down, you know what I'm saying, 2-man coverage to him, outside leverage and things of that nature. You'd be like, damn, shawty. You know, and you smile just like you probably smiled just like Cam smiled. It was just the wrong venue and the wrong person. This woman, as far as I know, is a professional. She should know. You know what I'm saying? It's her job to know. Her livelihood depends on her knowing. And then, you know, there's the other element of this. There's a racial element to it. I guess it was Rob Littall from Black, what is it, BSO, Black Sports Online, who found this girl's tweet. She had some tweets that were racial in nature, laughing at some racial jokes. I guess her dad was being a racist about something, or telling racist jokes, and she was laughing about him. And she retweeted something that was calling Dale Earnhardt, a white boy, bitch ass N-word. So that was fun. That came to be. And then it was like, people say, oh, see, she deserved what she got. And first of all, she didn't get anything, one, other than some notoriety, because now we know the name Jordan Rodrigue. We know that name now, so she got that. But, this whole notion that Cam did something to her was kind of ridiculous, And then the other racial element in this is that it is Cam. And Cam is, regardless of what you guys try to do with the whole coon thing, and we want to do what is it, the race draft with Cam and all this crazy stuff y'all doing on the internet. Cam is a black man, you know what I mean, and certain rules. My back hurts so bad. Certain rules apply that don't apply to a lot of the white athletes. For example, Rob Gronkowski. I want to play something for you guys, and I just want you to listen to it and ask yourself, how much blowback did Rob Gronkowski receive from this?
And that superhero, that Falcon, the superhero, that's the black guy. Who can even fly when he's not being chased by the cops? That's his superpower. Well, you want to know why Jews do play football? To get their quarterback, you cheap
And I wanted to play that whole part where the white people were like, woo! I wanted to play all of that. You dig? So that was a black joke and a Jew joke. Back to back. Well, not back to back, because I think the other one was about some chick, some woman getting like banged by 8 dudes backstage or something like that. But you didn't really hear anything about that. I didn't. I saw a couple of people laugh at it or whatever. He was at a roast, by the way. It was a roast for somebody. David Ortiz, I think it was. But the NFL being what the NFL is, you would think, right, that they might have something to say about one of their premier players standing up in front of an audience, dropping, these racial jokes and whatnot. Not a peep. Your homie Cam Newton says, it's funny to hear a woman or hear a female talk routes. And it's like the apocalypse has come. Hide your wife, hide your kids. The big black zombies are coming to get us. I don't know, in no way, by the way, am I surprised by that? It's just, at some point, when is the pendulum going to swing back towards the middle, where everything that's said that makes someone a little bit uncomfortable isn't looked upon as hate speech? Because I would challenge anyone to tell me that Cam in some way hates this woman. Big Baby, a grown man who still allows people to call him Big Baby, chimed in saying that the reason Cam would say something like that, he's obviously having woman problems. Now, if I put those two dudes in a lineup, right, and I told you to point at the one who you think might be having women problems, you think you'd point to Cam over Big Baby? Probably not. But that's the thing, man. Like, people can't wait to be the ones to pile on, even when there's nothing. And then you know what I love too? I love when I see the people who start the whole "what an idiot" thing, and then after some of the reaction on their timeline swings in the other direction, how they'll come back to that direction as well. See, again, it's like being a trained monkey. All this Facebook stuff, social media stuff has trained a lot of you, man, to react a certain way to things, even if it's not your earnest and honest reaction. And at some point, man, I don't know, and I don't think I believe that it'll ever be the situation or the case where things just kind of come back to the middle a little bit and people become independent, more independent in their thinking. Like they got these folks right here worried about like Russia still, putting out this fake news and all this kind of stuff. Well, the reason that's possible, one, is because people lazy as hell. And the other reason is because everyone wants to participate. Well, so many of you want to participate in groupthink. Thinking outside the box or thinking independently, get you looked upon unfavorably. So people are less likely to do it. That's why you have stuff like this Cam Newton situation, man. This could have been a one-day situation. Man, you heard what Cam said? That's crazy. But it turned into this whole week of things to the point where people are still watch Sunday pregame. Howie and whoever on ESPN and folks on NFL, they still be talking about it. And it's a nothing burger, man. It's absolutely nothing. Here's the other question I have real quick before I take this break. About old girl. Her name is Jordan Rodrigue. That doesn't sound like an Anglo-Saxon name to me. That sounds more Hispanic to me, which has me posing this question. And I posed it before to black people. Which Hispanic people can drop the N-word? Because Fat Joe, he gets it. He gets the he gets the pass into the club. But Jennifer Lopez, Puerto Rican as well, from the same neighborhood, Bronx, New York, doesn't get it. She's not allowed to say it. Who makes that rule? Because I'm sure at some point I'm going to find out, and I didn't take the time to look up this woman's history and all this kind of stuff, that this is not a white woman. This is a Hispanic woman. And in so many cases, my Dominican brothers, my Cuban brothers, my Puerto Rican brothers and sisters, that N-word thing is cool. Because, what are they called? They're called Caribbean, Afro-Caribbean, right? Afro-Hispanic? What are they called? Like how they've labeled the black people in America, African-American. They're African something. But is it because this girl has dyed her hair blonde that now it's a problem for her to laugh at racist jokes or racial jokes or whatever? It's all so convoluted and funny and weird. You know what I mean? It's just a weird thing, the way people attach their feelings to words, to these inanimate things that don't really even exist. It's just sound that's made that comes from your mouth when you do certain things to your mouth, your tongue and your teeth. I was telling my wife about that one day, man. I was trying to convince her that like the type of pain that people try to ascribe to words, that's a perceived pain. That's not like me hitting you in your chest with a sledgehammer. That's real pain. That other stuff is perceived because you know why? It'll hurt you or someone else, but somebody like me who don't care, it's not going to hurt me at all. Because you're reacting in a way that you feel like you should react. It should hurt you. I've kind of gotten past that. I'm 40 years old, man. It's 2017. There's nothing that word can do to me. You know what I'm saying? Some white boy want to start hollering nigga at me and all that kind of stuff. I've refused, man, to let people control my emotion in that way. Because I feel like you win. I feel like I have this concept that stupid people can't win. They shouldn't be allowed to win. And if I get mad and I start losing my mind over stuff like that, I'm allowing stupid people to win. And that is a feeling I don't like. I don't like when stupid people get to win. Some of you may differ in that way. It's One Mic with Big Mike, man, here on Spreaker.com, the Spreaker app. Tune in, and of course, I'm going to stop giving out the website. Text me, man, 404-902-8104 if you want to let your comments be heard, or jump on inside my live interactive chat room here on Spreaker. Just click the little thought bubble icon. It'll get you right up in there. Or you can also drop me a line on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at the number one MICWITHBIG MIKE. Final break. Then we're going to get up out of here, man. Be right back.
I have one question for you.
Do you or someone you know run a business that could benefit from additional exposure? The One Mic with Big Mike show is currently taking on new sponsors and advertisers. One Mic with Big Mike is currently syndicated across 8 different online platforms, and your company's name could be heard and seen across all 8 as well.
Let's get to work.
Please send all inquiries to Mike at onemicwithbigmike.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your continued support.
All I need is one mic.
Attention men under the age of 35. You know what really impresses the ladies? When a guy has a few drinks and later gets pulled over for buzz driving. That could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. There goes let's grab dinner and a movie. Oh, I know. You drive more carefully when you're buzzed. You've proven that hundreds of times. A woman admires that kind of confidence. And you've practiced how to speak if a cop does pull you over. Slowly, clearly, and politely like, "Good evening, officer." A woman admires that kind of foresight. And what woman doesn't find it adorable that you call it buzzed even though the law calls it drunk? You could kiss $10,000 goodbye, along with any chance of having a girlfriend. Because nothing says, "I'm a catch," more than a guy who lives in his parents' basement and calls it my place.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
And now back to One Mic with Big Mike.
And here we go!
Oh, that one already got a horn in it. Hey. Welcome back, man. Final segment of the show here on the One Mic with Big Mike show. Final segment of the week. We made it to another Friday, man. I don't really have any plans for the weekend. The old lady's still gone. She's down in Florida assisting with the hurricane relief with FEMA. And then I found out yesterday that she may have gotten extended her deployment, is what they call it. May have gotten extended a couple of weeks, so that sucks major balls. Yeah, man. Thank God for the internet, though, right? Thank God for the internet. All right, so let's go ahead and try to clean up some of this stuff real quick and get on out of here for the weekend. Like I mentioned earlier, man, I got work to do, man. I got money to make. Can't do that while I'm talking to y'all. Although I do appreciate y'all checking in on the show and hollering at your boy. There's something I want to do. I don't know, maybe coming up here in the next, week or two. I want to try to get a focus group put together, man. Just some people, and I'm sure I could probably do it on Facebook. Get some people who don't know me to just try to listen to the show and give me some feedback on the show. You know, what they think maybe the show may be lacking. Not necessarily, I don't need any praise or any of those type of things. I don't really do well with that kind of stuff. But like constructive criticism on where the show lacks, because, you know, in doing it, in actually doing the show, I don't listen to it. As you guys can probably tell, while I'm talking, I'm not listening to it. But I don't listen back and try to like critique it. My man Rob Calloway, who does my former co-host, who does the HBCU report here on Spreaker, he does that. He's real good at that, kind of like going back and listening to his show and, you know, critiquing himself. Like I'm not the best at doing that. I think they all suck, you know, and it's just really levels of suckery when it comes to this show. So I'm not really a good person to actually, you know, grade it. I'm not like Donald Trump. Everything I do is an A or whatever. No, everything I strive for C's, to be average. You know what I mean? Like if I can walk away from this microphone at night thinking, man, that was decently average, I'm all right with that. You know what I mean? But I think I want to do that, man. I wanted to kind of do it in show, you know, with some of the people like Big L and I Am No Doze and Debo and some of these cats who listen to the show more regularly. But I don't know if that's really working out the way I want to. So I might just try to like propose it, do some giveaways or something like that via Facebook to get it done. Because I want to know, you know what I mean? Because I have my own sensibilities and my instincts is what in doing what I like. And, you know, I get kind of annoyed when I see these things on Facebook, these like people getting up in arms over power rankings and rankings of players. Like, I can't believe they put this player over this player. And, you know, these to me, these elementary stupid questions about, you know, which team do you want? And it's like a team of like Steph Curry and LeBron and Kevin Durant, and like an old school team with Michael Jordan and I don't know, Magic and Bird or something crazy like that. It's like, people think that is what people have been, again, trained by the First Takes of the world and whatever the name of the show is with Shannon Sharp. And like every show now has to have this element of debate, no matter how stupid the debate is, and no matter how pointless it is. People still feel like that's what this thing is that I'm doing should be. And because I'm such an obtuse individual, my mom made me that way. It makes me repel that. It makes me want to push back from that so much more. Because one, I feel like it's just brain dead stuff that takes no effort to do. Just throw two names out there. It's like just throw two dogs in a pit with like a slab of a steak and watch them go at it. Comes off as pointless to me, man. You know what I mean? This is why I like doing my show. I don't ask a bunch of questions. I don't like, hey, what do you think about this? If you think something about it, text me, man. 404-902-8104. Get in on the conversation. It's fine. It's an open conversation, but I don't feel the need to be like, hey, I want you to talk about this right now. If you want to talk about something, my chat room's open. My social media is wide open. My text line is wide open. You know, bring it up. Again, even if you're listening to the show on demand, which a lot of you, I'm finding more and more people are listening on demand than listening live, which is another thing I want to do. I want to figure out how to get my live listeners up more. Maybe changing the time of the show. When I do the show, do it earlier or do it later. I'm not sure. You know, certain things like that are things that I'm willing to, you know, explore doing, because I'm not sure what people are doing at 7 o'clock. You know what I mean? I figure people are driving home at 5 o'clock. You know, I'm not sure what people are doing at 9 o'clock. And the fact that it is football season as well. So there's a lot of things that, you know, have gone through my mind. I'm not 100% sure how much longer I'll be doing the show. I'm still looking for like sponsorship bucks, try to bring in, you know, some sponsorship money or whatever to help me, you know, continue the show. And if at a certain point I just get tired of it, not the show itself, but funding it myself, yeah, I'll hang it up and understand that I've done all I can. You know what I mean? And keep it moving in that situation, in that way, I should say. All right, let's see what else. Let's go ahead and clean the plate real quick, and I'm gonna get on up out of here for the night. All right, what didn't I talk about today is the question. This weekend in college football, we got some games that are going to be decent by name, but I don't know. Florida State, Miami. You know, Florida State got this little skinny quarterback because of DeAndre Francois' injury. This little skinny quarterback, freshman that's been playing. At times he looks all right, you know, but they're not playing defense the way you would expect not Notre Dame, a Florida State team to play. Mark Richt has got the Miami squad on an uptick right now, which is cool. So, I don't know, because it's a college game, because it's a college matchup, say it that way. Yeah, look into it, because it's a rivalry game. A lot of times you can just throw the records out the window, as they say, the proverbial throw the records out the window type of situation. And it may be something worth your time. That's going to happen at, I have it here somewhere, 3:30, I believe, that Florida State Miami game. Some of the other games you might want to check out as well this weekend at noon. You got Georgia and Vanderbilt. Georgia's riding high. The people down here looking good. One of their kids, they starting linebacker, just got popped for weed. Either today or yesterday. He's facing what may be a 4-game suspension, which is a lot better than what it used to be. Because Mark Richt was like getting telling cats to hit the road, for stuff like this. So he's looking at possibly 4 games, and that defense has been playing very well. They got the young quarterback back then, of course. They got I don't know how many headed monster they got at the running back position. They just keep pumping them in there. Chubb, Michelle, the freshman they got back there. Georgia's all right this year. We're gonna see, man, if our Derek Mason's guys, Vanderbilt, they play hard, man, but they just don't have the talent. You know what I'm saying? And then also they make a lot of mistakes. I've seen Vanderbilt play. I saw a little bit against Alabama, and then last week I can't remember who they played. It was a much closer game last week, but they couldn't get over the mistakes. Ole Miss and Auburn. Ole Miss got drugged last week by Alabama, which, you know what? I feel like I thought about this earlier today, the Alabama fatigue. I haven't seen Alabama play since the first game of the season. Like, I guess I just put them down for a dub every week until we get closer to the playoffs or into the playoffs, man. I don't know what their schedule looks like. I know they got to play Auburn, of course, and Auburn at number 12 in the nation. They're being clumped amongst the upper echelon in the SEC. I still don't think they got a quarterback, really, but whatever. They got my dude Petway in the back, though. Cameron Petway. Which way? Petway. But they're being clumped up in that group with Alabama, them, Auburn. You know what I'm saying? I said them, Auburn. Alabama, Georgia, Auburn. But they got Ole Miss this week, and Ole Miss got embarrassed last week by Alabama, looking to bounce back this week, obviously, against Auburn. The other 3:30 game, got West Virginia, TCU, another Big 12 matchup. I hope that the best game this weekend, again, ain't a Big 12 game. Like, those games just look different to me. It looks like a different sport sometimes to me out there in the Big 12. Like, you get surprised when anyone makes a defensive play. LSU, LSU, yeah. They got drugged, and I'm going to call it a dragging, whatever. Not a drugging. That would be a different thing. A dragging by Troy last week. They play the Florida Gators, which, you know, they've Del Rio's boy broke his damn collarbone, so now they got to go back to that other kid, the young kid that threw the Hail Mary against Tennessee at quarterback. So, yeah, effing joy that whole situation, if you like. Then at night, Michigan State, Michigan. Michigan State is trash, but, again, rivalry game. ESPN's trying to play it up. You know, they playing that play last year of the botched, whatever it's called, the botched punt that allowed Michigan State to win at the end. They're playing that up real good, but like that Michigan State team, from what I've seen this year, is trash. But Michigan's quarterback, Speet, or whatever his name is, he's gone for the season, I believe. So Michigan's got to break in a new quarterback for this game. So it may be something worth watching. And if you don't have the Alabama fatigue like I do, you can check out Alabama, Texas A&M at night, as well as Washington State and Oregon. Get to see my man Willie Taggart and that Oregon squad take on Washington State. I think it was the Washington State quarterback that I was talking about earlier. That was the damn the walk-on that's doing so well out there right now. So that's your college football for the weekend, man. In the NFL, there's a few games to watch for this weekend. Bunch of buys, or 4 buys this weekend. But you got Dallas and Green Bay going at it. Let me see if I can pull up the schedule for you guys real quick so I don't have to try to do it off the top of my head. Nope, I can't. Oh, yeah, I can. Here we go. All right. Of course, you got Dallas and Green Bay. Dallas needs a win, 2-2 right now. And, of course, having to face Aaron Rodgers ain't necessarily the elixir that's going to fix that ailment. But we'll see. Like, the NFL is just that every week. Like, that game last night, Thursday night, that's an NFL game. It's a Thursday night game as well. Like, where we come out of the game on Friday saying to ourselves, man, the Patriots are back. We overreacted after that first game, that first loss against Kansas City, who, of course, is undefeated. But did we really? Like, if the kicker makes 2 kicks, if Nick Folk makes 2 kicks, hashtag you had one job. We're talking a whole different narrative today. I heard him talking about, was Jameis Winston too enamored with the Patriots and Tom Brady? He probably wouldn't have been if they make those 2 kicks, 2 out of those 3 kicks. But that's his life, right? I can't find my schedule. I can't find my NFL schedule. Good. Probably for the best, right? I need to get up out of here anyway. Just cleaning the plate right now, man. NFL ratings down again. But I want to point something out to anyone who's protesting the NFL on either side of the issue. The NFL is not a TV show. They're not going to cancel it because the ratings have dipped. You know what I mean? This is not that. You feel me? All the money is already, those checks have been cashed. Those TV deals have been cashed. The only thing right now is, sponsors can complain, and maybe the next time the deal comes up is not as sweet. But for the next, I don't know how much, I think they just re-up with like Amazon and Yahoo and all these folks streaming stuff. The NFL is on to the next one. Y'all not making a difference, man. I know y'all want to feel like, black folks and racist folks, y'all always want to feel like y'all making a difference. Well, racist folks, y'all do because this is y'all country. But black folks, stop feeling like you putting a dent in that machine. You're not. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. And if you decide that you're not going to watch, just understand that you're doing it that you're basically just making yourself feel better. But you're not really making any type of indentation on the business or the business model that is the NFL. Sorry, not sorry to inform you of that. All right. It is time to say goodbye to all my Negro friends. Where did that come from? Where did I get that from? That's a part of my childhood that now has sprung back up, and I don't remember. Oh, that's In Living Color. Duh. Anyway, man, that's going to do it. Appreciate everybody checking out the show. Everyone who checks out the show live on demand. I appreciate you guys, man. Continue to spread the word. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend, and tell a damn friend about this overly average show on Spreaker, the Spreaker app. Tune in. iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and YouTube. And, of course, on my Facebook live stream as well. Tell everybody you know, man. Have a great weekend. Be safe. My folks in Louisiana, man. Hunker down. That's the word they use on the news. Hunker down, man. Storm coming your way, man. And remember, all you need is one mic.